Ah, silence. It's so damn loud, isn't it? It's louder than any scream, louder than the sharpest words. But it's the silence that sends them spiraling, isn't it? You see, silence isn't some passive, weak thing. It's an art. It's the most brutal form of punishment you can wield. The longer you stay silent, the more they drown in their own regrets, and they have no idea. The longer they ignore the truth of what they've done, the more they sink into the abyss they've dug for themselves. They think they've broken you. They think they've left you in the dust, crushed under the weight of their insults, their betrayals. But they don't realize the truth. They haven't touched you. You've become a ghost in their world, and it's driving them mad. Oh, they think they've got control. They think they've won, but they're playing a game they don't even understand. And the beauty of it all? They don't even see you coming. You've become the darkness they can't escape, the silence that haunts them. You've been quiet, haven't you? You've watched them go on with their lives, thinking they've gotten away with it. They think they've played their cards right, that their words and actions have pushed you into a corner, rendered you powerless. But all they've done is give you time. Time to watch them unravel. Time for you to slip away, unnoticed, unseen. They don't know what's coming. They never will. Because here's the thing. People who think they've won, they always make the same mistake. They never stop to think about the consequences of their actions. They never stop to wonder, what if I push them too far? What if they don't react the way I expect? They forget that the most dangerous people aren't the ones who scream and lash out. They're the ones who say nothing, the ones who make no sound at all. They forget that silence is more than just absence. It's a storm waiting to hit. They've done their damage, haven't they? They've spread their lies, stabbed their knives into your back, twisted the blade, and yet, here you are, standing still, silent, watching. What they don't realize is that every moment you stay silent, every second that you don't react, they are the ones who are burning. They are the ones who are digging their graves, step by step. But they don't know it yet, do they? They don't know that with every insult, every selfish act, they're losing themselves. They want you to react. They want you to get angry, to scream, to beg for mercy. They want to see you break. But that's the mistake they make. They don't know that breaking you is impossible. What they've really done is exposed their own weaknesses. They've shown their hand, and they've given you the ultimate advantage. Because you don't need to fight back. You don't need to raise your voice. All you need to do is wait. And while you wait, they unravel. They drown in the weight of their own regret. How delicious is that? They thought they were the ones in control. They thought they held all the power. But power isn't about who screams the loudest, is it? Power is in the silence. Power is in the space between their words, where doubt creeps in, and they start to question everything. They question their actions. They question their decisions. They wonder if they've gone too far. They wonder if they've finally pushed you beyond the point of no return. And that's when the regret starts. That's when they begin to realize, too late, that they've lost. You don't need to say a word. You don't need to do anything at all. The silence does the job for you. It eats away at their mind, at their soul. It drives them mad. With every passing day that you say nothing, they begin to drown deeper in their own guilt. They start to wonder what they did wrong. They start to hear their own voice echoing back to them in the form of doubt, and the weight of that regret is unbearable. So here's the game. You play it patiently, and you play it smart. The longer you stay silent, the more they drown in regret. And regret, my friend, is the most delicious form of revenge, because it's slow, it's excruciating, it lingers, it festers, it doesn't go away. And they will carry that weight with them for the rest of their lives. You don't need to do anything. You just need to stay quiet. Watch as they crumble under the weight of their own choices, as they try to keep their cool, but the guilt eats them alive. You don't need to seek revenge. No, you just need to wait, to let them dig their own graves. Because when you stay silent, you become the storm they didn't see coming. And when they finally realize what they've done, it'll be too late. The regret will already have swallowed them whole. And that's when they'll realize they never stood a chance. They thought they could break you. They thought they could push you. But the longer you stay silent, the more they drown in regret. They can't run from it. They can't escape it. It's a slow, painful descent, and they're too deep in it to climb out. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to scream. You just need to let them sink, and they will. They'll sink deeper and deeper into their own regret, and they'll never see you again. You'll be the shadow they never catch, the silence that haunts them. They've made their bed. Now, let them lie in it. There's something intoxicating about watching them lose themselves in the chaos they created. You see, regret doesn't come like a sudden slap in the face. It creeps in. It slithers under their skin like a venomous snake, slowly poisoning their thoughts. They can't stop thinking about it, can they? The things they said, the way they laughed when you were at your lowest. They thought you were weak, thought you were nothing. They didn't even consider the possibility of you turning the tables. And that right there is their mistake. Now, as the days drag on, you become the nightmare they can't escape. Every glance they take, every turn they make, they expect to find you standing there, waiting for their apology. But that never comes. You don't need an apology. What's done is done, and no mere words can ever undo the harm they've caused. No, the real punishment comes from watching them crumble under their own mistakes, watching them fight the demon of their own guilt. They can't run from it. They can't bury it. It's like an itch they can't scratch, a wound that refuses to heal. And they thought they had it under control, didn't they? They thought they could walk away from the damage they caused, thinking you would be forgotten, the bruise you left on them fading into the past. But that's not how it works. Regret doesn't fade, it festers. It grows into something bigger, more terrifying. It haunts them at night, creeping into their dreams, turning every memory into a nightmare. But the most delicious part? They can never truly escape it. You were the spark they never expected. You were the one thing they couldn't predict. And now, you're the ghost that lingers in every corner of their mind. You didn't shout. You didn't chase them down. You simply waited. And that waiting, it makes them question everything. Every move they made to hurt you, every word that came out of their mouths. They'll never be able to escape the shadows of their own decisions. You're no longer in their reach, and that is the ultimate power. It's an invisible force they can't comprehend, an invisible prison they've locked themselves into. They'll never know what hit them. You're not a victim. You're not waiting for the grand moment of revenge. No, you're the observer. You watch as they thrash against the invisible chains they've bound themselves with. They will try to find someone else to blame. They will throw every excuse they can. But deep down, they know. They know who is responsible for their misery. They thought they could break you, didn't they? They thought they could strip you of everything you held dear. But instead, they stripped themselves. They've exposed their true colors. And now, they're the ones trapped in the consequences of their own actions. It's funny how life works. The ones who think they can control you, the ones who believe they've got you in their grip, they're the ones who end up suffocating on their own regret. Every sleepless night, every thought that twists in their mind is a reminder of what they did, and they'll never find peace. It's beautiful, isn't it? The way they'll lie to themselves, trying to justify the things they did to you. They'll twist the narrative, make themselves the victim in their own eyes. But you know the truth, don't you? You see them for what they really are. They can lie to the world. They can lie to everyone around them. But they can't lie to themselves. They can't run away from the shadow that you've become. And that shadow grows darker, more oppressive with every passing day. They may try to distract themselves, try to pretend like everything's fine, but they'll never be fine. You see, regret has a way of gnawing at you, little by little, until it eats away at the very fabric of who you are. It eats at their soul, until they're hollow inside. They'll think about you every day, wishing they could turn back time, wishing they could undo what they did. But time's already passed, hasn't it? The damage is done, and all they can do is feel the weight of their own choices pressing down on them. And the best part? They have no one to turn to. They've alienated everyone around them, pushed everyone away with their selfishness, their cruelty. No one will come to their rescue. They're isolated in the hell they created. Their friends, their family, they're all gone. You see, when you play with someone's life, when you toy with their emotions, you don't just break them. You break everything around you. You destroy every bridge that could have saved you. And now, they're alone. Alone in the regret they've forced upon themselves. They'll spend their days trying to find the right way to fix it. But there is no fix. Not for them. They'll go through every avenue, searching for redemption. They'll apologize. They'll beg. But it won't matter. Because they know. They know that their actions have sealed their fate. They'll try to make things right. But the problem is, they can't. They can't erase what's already been done. They can't take back the cruelty they inflicted, the lies they told. You can't fix broken glass. You can't put it back together, no matter how hard you try. And that's the beauty of it all. It's the slow burn, the long suffering. It's watching them desperately try to piece together a life they've shattered. It's watching them drown in the misery they've caused, knowing they'll never be able to find the escape they crave. You've already won. Without lifting a finger, without raising a voice, you've broken them. You've shattered them, just by waiting. They thought they could break you. They thought they could leave you to rot in silence. But what they didn't realize is that silence is the greatest weapon of all. It is the thing that tortures them, the thing that makes them crumble from the inside out. They will never find peace, not until they face the consequences of their actions. But even then it'll be too late. They'll keep coming back, won't they? They'll keep trying to fix it. But the problem is, it's already broken. And with every attempt, they dig their own grave a little deeper, until they can no longer see the light of day. And you? You just keep standing there, silent, watching. They thought they could bury you, but you're the one burying them now. Now, you stand on the edge of the abyss, and they're still trying to crawl their way back. It's pathetic, really, the way they're scrambling, thinking there's a way out. But no one can escape the prison they've built with their own hands. It's like a cruel joke, isn't it? They thought they could just walk away unscathed, leaving you to deal with their mess. But now, they're sinking deeper. They're choking on their own remorse. The guilt weighs them down like chains, pulling them further into the darkness. They thought they were clever, didn't they? Manipulative little fools, thinking they could throw you aside and move on. But there's something they didn't account for: the long-lasting consequences of their actions. The thing about regret is that it doesn't hit immediately. No, it takes time to sink in, like poison slowly working its way into the bloodstream. And that's when it starts, when the first pangs of realization hit. That's when they understand that they've dug their own grave, and no matter how hard they try, they can't climb out. You're not the one suffering anymore. No, it's their turn to be consumed by the monster they created. They thought you would be the one to break, the one to crack under the pressure. But the truth is, they were the fragile ones all along. They were the ones built on lies, on deception, on false superiority. And now, they're paying the price. They don't even know what to do with themselves anymore. They'll say anything, do anything, just to find some shred of peace. But they can't. Not anymore. You've seen them break before, haven't you? You watched them crumble beneath the weight of their own arrogance. But this time, it's different. They don't even know what to do with themselves. The facade is gone. They're nothing but empty shells, chasing the ghost of redemption they'll never get. Every desperate attempt they make to right their wrongs only digs the hole deeper. It's beautiful to watch, isn't it? The way they desperately grasp for something they can't have. And as they squirm, as they fight against their own demons, they realize something horrible, something that gnaws at their soul. You were never the enemy. They were. They created the monster that's now tearing apart everything they hold dear. And it's only a matter of time before it consumes them entirely. There's no escape, no redemption, no turning back. The more they fight, the deeper they sink. Every move they make is another step into their own personal hell. The silence you left behind. It's deafening. It's the echo of everything they destroyed, and it'll be their undoing. They can try to seek forgiveness, but it won't come. The doors they thought were open are now locked. The people they once manipulated are no longer interested in their lies. And the more they beg, the more they expose their own desperation. It's amusing, isn't it? The way they once had everything under control, the way they thought they were invincible, only to watch it all slip away. They thought they could break you. They thought you would beg for closure, for answers, for their pathetic apology. But you were never interested in their closure. You were never interested in being part of their twisted game. They've forgotten what it feels like to be in control, to have the upper hand. They thought their silence would be your downfall, but all it did was sharpen the edge of your resolve. And now, they can't escape it. They can't escape the consequences of their own actions. Each day that passes, each moment that slips by, is another day they realize they can never undo what they've done. Their attempts to salvage the wreckage only make it worse. The more they act, the more they expose their weakness, and they'll never be able to find peace. Because peace isn't something you can earn with empty words. Peace is something you've already taken. They'll never have it again. There's a certain beauty in this, in their destruction, in the way their world crumbles around them, piece by piece. It's like watching an empire fall. The weight of their own guilt becomes too much to bear, and they slowly suffocate under the pressure. They're trapped in a never-ending cycle, each turn only making them spiral further down. And no one can save them, not even themselves. And while they flounder in their misery, you remain untouched. You remain unscathed, watching from a distance as they continue to drown in the storm they created. You never needed their apology. You never needed their validation. What you needed was their downfall. And that, my friend, is what you've achieved. They'll try to patch things up, won't they? They'll try to mend the broken pieces of their life, but they'll never find the right pieces. They'll never find what they lost. And even if they do, it'll never be the same. Because once you break someone, once you tear them apart, you can never truly put them back together. The cracks remain. The scars stay. And it's those scars that define them. They thought they could walk away unscathed. They thought they could discard you like a piece of trash, like you were nothing. But now, they realize the truth. The only thing they've discarded is their own peace, their own sanity, their own sense of self. And no matter how hard they try, they'll never get it back. The beauty of it all lies in the waiting, in the silence, in the knowledge that no matter how loud they scream or how much they beg, they're trapped. The more they struggle, the more they drown in their own regret. And in that struggle, they will find no salvation, no forgiveness, no release. And so, you watch. You watch as they suffocate under the weight of their own guilt. You watch as they disappear into the abyss of their own making. They never saw it coming, did they? They never knew you were the one holding the power all along. You never needed to lift a finger. You never needed to seek vengeance. You simply waited. You let the silence do the work for you. And in that silence, you became their greatest nightmare. And now, they will never escape.